What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Around the Metaverse, our weekly show where we bring together some of the best content creators from the blockchain and NFT gaming community, talk about everything you guys need to know to stay up to date. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host today. But more importantly, we've got an amazing group of guests for y'all. First off, Stache, man, how you doing?
Yo, doing it, man. Hanging Monday, Around the Metaverse. Love it. NFTs.
Let's get it.
Get it.
Cagy, man, welcome to see you again. You got the juice? You bringing the juice today?
I got the juice. I got the powder here. Check it. What's up? What's up, Bryson? Don't you have a powder collaboration out there?
Oh my God. You got me out here shilling.
We got Zuljin in the house too, man. Good to see you here. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Good to see y'all too. I'm excited to hear about all the drama. Information this week.
And last but certainly not least, man, we got a new face to the channel here. We got Bryson, one of the most popular Axie Infinity players and content creators out there, and someone who's always given Cagy a run for his money. How's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm not as cool as Cagy, but I'm here for some fun.
Yeah, man. But welcome to the show. And we're
not as angry,
hopefully
not as angry. That's what
yeah, we got some great topics.
Got him.
We got some great topics to go over with all you guys today. Bryson, we lost your cam.
Lost
so he was here and now he's gone, everyone. That's all you get.
Oh, you turned his cam off. You turned your cam.
Yeah,
He's like he got afraid. That's what happened. I don't know.
Camera shy. No, but all right. We get Bryson back. There we go. We got
Stop
some good topics today, man.
Bryson.
We got some good topics today, man. We're going to be talking about the OpenSea kind of insider trading scandal that happened. We got a little bit of Ember Sword drama. I know we've actually kind of covered a little bit of Ember Sword drama before, so we'll see what the new drama is. And a little bit about centralization and maybe where things might be going in the NFT world. Who knows? But let's get into our first topic here, the OpenSea insider trading scandal. Just to get, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Before we jump into things, all you guys viewing out there, I want you guys to go smash the like button, hit the subscribe and the bell so you don't miss any of that great content we have every day. And give yourselves or give Bryson a round of applause, man, for being new to the show and being here. Thank you for coming on.
Incredible.
Oh my goodness, you guys are making me feel all special inside.
But yeah, man, if you guys don't know already, there's been a bit of an insider trading scandal within OpenSea. So Nate Chastain, the head of product, actually was found to be front running the featured OpenSea NFTs page. So essentially, they would get a list of their NFTs together and he would start buying the collections that were going to be going on the featured page before they would, and basically selling them through burner accounts back to his main wallet once that spike of hype happened when that collection went on stage. Which, I mean, you know, that's just a burden of centralization right there, man. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but Stache, I want to ask you, man, like, do you think he thought he was going to get caught? Like, what's going on here, man? Like, how could you even think you're going to get away with something like that?
I mean, did he think? Obviously, he didn't think he was going to get caught. He keeps doing it, right? He's like, you know, I'm going to do this until I get caught, and then at that point, who cares? I mean, you're part of one of the largest up and coming, NFT focused products in the entire space. I don't know why you would put that on jeopardy for a few extra ETH. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he was unhappy with the package he was getting, or his salary, or whatever it may be, his compensation, and thought, hey, this is an easy way for me to, like, snag all these fools, like all this extra ETH into my wallet. But I just think it's a dumb decision. Like, why would you jeopardize that in any kind of way? And then it also just kind of puts like a little bit of a snag there on the platform in general. Like, you know, that, like, you think about it, like, okay, well, what kind of credibility does that then have? Like, does that take the credibility down? I think it does. Yeah, I think it does.
Did you say a few extra ETH? Yeah, because I don't think he did it for a few extra.
I mean, when I say a few, it's probably more than that. I don't think he gives
a damn what happened to OpenSea. He got away with murder.
Oh, we lost Bryson again, man.
Damn, murder. I wouldn't go that far. Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
How much did he get though?
I don't know, a couple hundred ETH, but I mean, I wouldn't go that far, man. Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying it's okay.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just saying, okay. Justified in his mind, like, I don't think he cared with that kind of money.
It's not okay, but I bet you my ass that all those motherfuckers on OpenSea have all done it.
They probably have.
Yeah. All of them.
Absolutely.
All of them, without exception. And I know it happens in many, many other projects. This is crypto. This is like the wild, wild west. Everybody pretending here like they have never done some bullshit on crypto. Even from the content standpoint, like creating content of something that you may not like that much, to fucking, doing some type of insider trading. Like, come on, like, it's not okay. It's just, it's overblown out of proportion, and he got what he deserved. That's it. Because he got caught.
I was about to say, man, it's interesting. Like, that's just a burden of how centralized OpenSea is. I want to ask you, Zuljin, man, like, what are there other options out there? Like, if someone doesn't want, like, say we're gonna strike against OpenSea, like, are there what's the other marketplace? Are there decentralized options to use?
I was talking with some folks today about some different things, and they were just asking me if I was an ETH maxi, and I was like, not really. It's just that's the only thing that's available right now, right? Like, outside of competition, like, let's talk about other blockchains in general. Solana is like if I would have to grade the blockchains that NFTs are most popular on, Solana would be number 2, right? But their exchanges are a mess. Cardano's not.
I would disagree. I don't think Solana's a number 2 blockchain for NFTs at all. I think that they're barely getting started, and because it's not. The technology is horseshit right now, man.
Wax is
100% the second one, right? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Solana may get there, but
So in general, the marketplace is a mess, and I think that's a big portion of why it's not there. ETH by far is it's most used, and I think that if you would just say I'm going on strike, like I create a lot of content around NFTs and I trade a lot of them. If I would just say I'm not going to use OpenSea anymore, my activity level would shrink by probably 75%.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, it's just the network effect at the end of the day that the ETH network has. But in reality, I mean, I'm fucking tired of this shit, bro. Like,
I think we all have a little bit of fatigue with ETH.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. Like, I'm ready.
Gas fatigue. We've just spent so much money on gas that all of the wasted riches are now lingering in the back of our minds.
No, I don't really see it like that, to be honest. I kind of put it into the cost of doing business, but it's annoying as fuck to go into a drop. It's just a hurdle all the way, every single time, and it's just annoying. It's just straight up annoying. And the thing is that why the hell has Wax not implemented a good DeFi system where you can go in and out of Wax easily? You can extract, but going in is a pain in the ass. It's like,
what do you mean going in?
If
like
I want to go from
Wax?
ETH, if I want to go from ETH to Wax, how do I do it right now?
Oh, okay, switching.
How do I bridge in?
Bryson,
exchange.
There is a Wax bridge to ETH, but I don't know that it's as user friendly as we'd want it to be.
No, that one works. But from ETH to Wax, we don't want Wax to ETH. It's the other way around. We want to bring liquidity into Wax, not take it out. Right. So it doesn't even make sense that they have to take out. At the end of the day, if they told me, no, you can't take out, I wouldn't be mad, right? But let me go in. Like, I want to go into your blockchain. So you're making me go into an exchange. Like, I don't know, man. It's just
no, and that's actually, they're working on that bridge. So and it's also going to be 2 ways with NFTs as well. So you'll be able to port NFTs from Ethereum over to Wax and Wax over to Ethereum too. But and they're the only blockchain that has anything even close to that. So like Ethereum doesn't really have that either, man. You can't really, I mean, unless it's EVM compatible, you're looking at like Binance Smart Chain or Polygon, but those things are specifically built for that. So I mean, I think that's really the kind of comparison you'd make on Wax, but it's coming.
ETH is big enough to where it doesn't have to have that. People will figure it out. That's like U.S. currency versus some of the other foreign currencies. I mean, except maybe the euro.
All right, we got Bryson back. Bryson, man, can you hear me?
Welcome back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back.
Dude, my camera is like bugging, like completely.
This is the trials and tribulations of live production, man. That's what we do every day for you guys out there. But Bryson, man, I want to ask you about OpenSea. Did you hear about all that craziness? And what's your opinion on the scandal? And do you think that this is going to kind of tarnish their reputation going forward?
Honestly, I think that like that guy he's an idiot for like taking such a small gain. I mean, I don't know what he was selling or like how much of it he sold, but it seems like at a very root level, it couldn't have been enough to where it was like worth losing your job over. But I don't know. I definitely like look at OpenSea slightly differently now, because you see stuff on the feature page and you're like, oh, what do I got to do to get up there? You know, I'm selling a cool project, or, you know, I'm a part of something that I think is pretty cool. And it's like, now it's like you understand that there were gatekeepers that were kind of holding that space. And it's almost like you can't, in a sense, trust everything you see. And even the perception of advertisement now changes in the crypto space because of that.
That's pay to win, of course.
Yeah.
OpenSea has always been pay to win. Everything here is pay to win. Everything you do is pay to win. Yeah, it is what it is.
And I mean, think about the traditional art scene, man. Like you better believe that in the traditional art scene, there's all sorts of like behind closed doors, you know, talks happening. And I could see OpenSea moving closer to, you know, that sort of model, you know, going forward, especially say once they go public and they have shareholders and things like that, you know, have a say in things. Who knows?
It'll still happen though. That's the problem. It'll still happen. You know, there's people who do this to, you know, all the time. It's not like it doesn't happen in the traditional world. People are getting caught you know, siphoning billions of dollars off of companies and Ponzi schemes and large corporations and things. Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like the fact that it's happening here and someone has you know found a way to do it. I mean, I'm not surprised. And, you know, do I feel like it's something that, you know, we've seen probably happen before where we didn't know about it? Probably, yeah. Hopefully this is a kind of a little bit of a wake up call, because it's being pushed into the public spotlight. People understanding that this can happen and that there is a lot of opportunity of people to be scammed when something is exploding like this, and you know you're seeing tons of volume come to crazy projects out of nowhere. You know, people front running and kind of, you know, being behind the scenes and being able to essentially insider trade is kind of what's happening here. It's definitely happened, not just in the NFT world, but also in other cryptocurrency, you know, ecosystems too. So
I would like to see Token Trove,
West, man.
Token Trove, if you guys have ever used it.
Yeah.
I would like to see that platform grow a little bit more from this. You know, I think
it's not take advantage of it. That's the problem, man. Is that you know, OpenSea has become ubiquitous with, you know, NFTs and Ethereum. Like some people don't even understand that OpenSea that there is anything outside of OpenSea. Period. Whether they even recognize there's anything outside of Ethereum. I mean, there's literally people who are just like, what NFTs are on another place? I thought it was just OpenSea.
Yeah.
Like, OpenSea is Ethereum to them. OpenSea is NFTs to them. So this is a big deal.
They become like the aggregator for NFTs in the space. And it's like, it's almost like the whole thing of, oh, is your coin on Coinbase? It gives it this type of legitimacy or power with it being there. So it's like, that's going to be a hard kind of narrative to shake.
So it's a limited functionality too, because if you go from OpenSea to another exchange, you start seeing opportunities immediately. Like the Solana blockchains that we were talking about, kind of like the first time I moved over from Wax to Ethereum. Like Wax's marketplace was great, you know? So when you move to something like that, it's, you know, when you go grocery shopping, do you go to a big grocery store or a small grocery store? It's that availability and that functionality increase that makes it good to go into.
Yeah. And you know, there are people on Twitter, man, who are talking about the metaverse and think the entirety of it is contained within MetaMask and the Ethereum blockchain, man. Yeah. So that's speaking of some drama, man, and all this OpenSea stuff. I got another piece, or I guess specifically speaking of missed opportunities too. I got another piece of drama for you guys, at least for USA investors here. I know we talk about Embersword a decent amount on the show, and for viewers out there who don't know, it's probably one of the like what we would consider AAA competitor, like AAA style games that's going to be coming out here soon. Or at least of the higher tier of quality compared to some of these other projects that we've seen. Yeah, I see some of you guys shaking your heads, man. I see some of you guys say I'm excited for it.
Double A and a half.
No. I agree with Alex. Alex, you hit right. So what were you saying about it? We missed opportunities.
All right. So as you guys know, they had a community land sale, and recently the results from the community land sale came out, which is another issue. But alongside of that, they're giving out badge NFTs for pre-access to their game, and with those badges, anyone who buys it is entitled to the same value of that badge in Ember tokens, which are coming are going to be coming at some point. Except they put it out in an announcement that all USA users are not going to be able to claim those tokens. So there have been numerous times where we've literally like where US users have been screwed out of getting airdrops, sometimes worth like $30,000. That DXDY airdrop like is worth thousands of dollars now. But I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on how US users are getting screwed again and again, and how that's going to translate into the NFT and blockchain gaming space if our legislation doesn't catch up? Cagy, man, what's your opinion on this? Do you think that Embersword taking this upon themselves to say, nah, US users, you can't claim these tokens is a good or a bad move?
I mean, that's the right move from a business standpoint. 100%. You can't risk your whole business for you know for the community like that, like only for the US community. You get me? It does suck. It does suck. I don't experience that because I am Dominican, so I'm not American, right? And if I were to apply as an American, I mean, I just have double citizenship, so I do whatever I want, right? So depending on what really,
whichever option is better.
It's more convenient to
Lucky
me.
bastard.
Right.
And,
We hate you.
no, but
hate you more now.
It does suck. It does suck, for sure. It does suck. But from the Embersword standpoint, I mean, they're already doing something cool for the community, right? They stepped up. They said, we're going to give the community a chance to get involved in the token at the seed round investment, right? Like price. We don't know the price yet, but but at least they're stepping up there. But it does
better
suck.
than nothing, yeah.
It's better than nothing. It does suck.
So my question is, if they have this limitation, then why not offer something to the U.S. citizens that's exclusive to U.S. citizens that may or may not be close to equal to the same value without the restrictions of something like a token pre-sale because of the government not allowing it? Like, why not offer them just extra something? It's an NFT or a consolation prize, whatever the hell you want to call it. If the
send me a plushie
value, we need
exactly. It could be a figurine. That's what pre-sales on conventional video games do.
That badge is not worth $25K without the token. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about?
No, but it could be something that could. I mean, $25K is a lot. You're right, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
They could have an exclusivity benefit that would benefit all people. Outside of that specific limitation on, well, the U.S. customers, what are we going to do for?
Well, and just to be clear too, the maximum allocation you can make, the highest badge you can get is $25K. The minimum, the lowest you can get is $250. So they did want to make it accessible for kind of everyone across different financial.
Just not in the U.S. Everyone not in the U.S.
Just not in the U.S. Well, Stache, what's your opinion, man? Yeah.
So I mean, I think that my main gripe with this is Cagy's right. They made the right business decision. Now, what sucks about that is that it's kind of come at this time where this regulation is kind of, still kind of gray. They said, hey, here's what we're looking at. And so companies are kind of expecting this and trying to pivot. But moving forward, this should be something that every project is considering and has a plan, not like, okay, here's our plan, and then they have to backpedal, halfway through or right when it goes down because like, oh, we screwed up. Really, we should have been abiding by these regulations, and because we weren't, now we're going to have to screw a whole demographic of customers who were involved in this and, put their time into it and put their money into it or, countless hours in Discord, or whatever it may be, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say that really hurts here is that, these people were hoping and thinking this was going to happen. And this happened with the Gods Unchained IMX airdrop, the immutable X drop too, and the Gods token. So they said, originally here's how much everyone was going to be getting. And then, basically backpedaled on that saying, oh, well, because of new US regulations that aren't even passed, by the way. These regulations have not even actually passed yet. They've just talked about it and they're not official. They're not like gone into effect. Right, that's what I mean. Really, haven't gone into effect, and they're already saying, "Oh no, we can't do this because this is what they've made this ruling on." So
the potential repercussions.
Yeah, exactly, because they're afraid of repercussions of what might happen in 5 years or something.
Well, I get that though. Like
I get it. It just sucks that it just sucks that they don't have a plan. Like, what's your backup plan? I don't know. Screw everybody in the U.S. That's it. Like it's the same thing. Like you're saying. Like man, you come up with some sort of something, some sort of like little carrot you can toss them, throw us a freaking bone, man.
But let's be honest, they've been backpedaling for a long time. Embersword was going to be a fully tokenized game. That was gonna be the first real MMO with tokens and stuff like that. And they backpedaled. They had their ERC20 within the game. You know, that's the reason I went into Embers at the beginning. That's why I was so mad. I'm always mad, but whatever. The point is,
I remember you going in on him though, Cagy. I remember that.
But they had an ERC20 token. Yeah. That's what I read. And that's why I went in. And then boom, out of nowhere, all regulations, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they're not willing to risk not even nothing. They're not willing to risk. I understand them. Some people are innovators and risk takers. Ember Sword is not that type of team, company. It's just not it.
I mean, it seems like an impossible task, man. Like there's no clear discourse on how to go about, you know, being compliant with the U.S. right now, at least in any reasonable manner. And like, what are companies supposed to do, man? Like Bryson, what's your opinion, man? Like, drop
it through an exchange. You can do that. That's how FTX. FTX did it, right? If you're U.S., then you have to apply as a U.S. citizen, blah, 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 this and that for the Star Atlas thing. And you could get through it, but now you have to, you know, apply as a U.S. and get through the KYC and stuff like that. So maybe do it that way. Use Binance as your friend or whatever. Be like, yo, we're going to drop this only for the U.S. Whoever qualifies gets in or something like that. I don't know. Go ahead, Bryson. My bad.
Yeah, no worries. I just don't think that, like, with the way the U.S. system is going, there is no world where decentralized organizations or doing things in a decentralized way is going to be, in my opinion, like successful in being from the U.S. Like, to be honest, we're fucked. Like, you know, we can build companies, we can build things, we can do whatever we want. But either way, like, if we want to be able to live in the U.S., we still have to like abide by certain laws and regulations. So it's like companies like Ember Sword are showing that they just more so would rather bypass those regulations and not deal with them altogether, which is, I mean, completely understandable. But I mean, you look at companies who've done it successfully, like, you know, they're not decentralized. It's like a Coinbase, it's all these, you know, weird platforms. Even FTX has had to abide by certain US regulations to, you know, get where they wanted to be. But it's like, I think like in the US, for at least the immediate future, we have to like face the music that maybe we won't be able to participate in things in a decentralized way legally. And I mean, we can find other kind of ways around it. I won't go into ways because it's like, I don't want to go to jail, but ideally,
hit us up in the comments and DMs if you want to know the secret sauce.
Here's the thing: U.S. citizens have so much power around the world. You guys don't even understand. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, really, you're already a citizen. You can go to anywhere in the world, and there's so many countries that would open the doors just because you're a U.S. citizen. And you establish yourself there, get a dual citizenship, get a triple citizenship, go fucking to the Philippines. Then from the Philippines, move to another country, and now you're a Filipino, you're a U.S. citizen, and you got access to the whole world.
Well, so I agree with you. I mean, I kind of agree with you. That obviously it's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. You know, not everybody's that adventurous or maybe has the amount of money. Like it's you guys think about like how much it costs to actually move somewhere in the United States.
Just uproot
and go from here in California for me to go to Florida. Like a lot of people don't realize how much money that actually entails and everything. Aside from everything else, now think about going to a different country. I mean, it's a whole nother thing. And so I do think that that is going to stifle innovation here in the United States if we continually have laws that are not conducive for where technology wants to take us. And technology wants to take us into a decentralized future, not into a horseshit centralized future where we have a one-legged freaking pony of a product. And you got this freaking donkey pogoing around the place saying, yeah, you can get on my centralized exchange and here's how you can buy NFTs. And it's horseshit, man. And so I think that there's going to be the companies that will fight against it, like the XRPs, which I got to give them a little bit of credit where credit is due. I don't like the project. I don't buy XRP. I don't support them as a project. But damn, they have some balls to go against FCC and.
Coinbase fighting now too, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Coinbase is doing the same thing because of their own programs. It's like, and I think we'll see Celsius probably doing the same thing because these are companies that are here doing things, and it's not of the normal way. And they're like, oh, but you got to conform to the normal rules. And but we're not seeing any big NFT or gaming project approach doing that because they simply don't have the amount of money to be able to fight. And so that's kind of the biggest problem here. Is it it's easier for a company of that smaller stature to just say, hey, we're not even going to mess with the United States. We're not even going to do it. We're not going to try and fight. We're not going to say so and so. We're not going to worry about getting lawyers involved. We're just going to disallow it from them, and that's that. So we don't have to. It's not a big headache to us.
But that's such a big problem
terms of it's huge.
Like, I look at the amount of money that companies like Coinbase make versus decentralized organizations, and they make this amount of money because they were the ones to go from 0 to 1 and be like, we will just fight this shit out as long as possible, and we will see where things go, and knowing that if they have the money in the legal discourse, they can drag it out, and eventually they're going to come to some resolution that is somewhat favorable for Coinbase. And it's just because that's the way the capitalist system works. It might take 5-10 years, but it's like Coinbase is smart as hell for doing that.
Yeah, and you're right, man. So I definitely see this. So what's happening right now is what we've continued to see happening. Regulation gray areas where we don't really know what's going on. Is this gaming coin going to be considered a security? Is it not going to be available for United States citizens because of XYZ? Can we not airdrop it? And then in 10 years, all these things are going to eventually be reversed, and then because it's just you're not going to have a choice when everything literally on the internet is going to be going this direction. There's not going to be this is simply not going to be an option anymore. You won't be able to use jack shit online because it all uses Web3 technology, and every every site, everything you're touching, every product that you're buying involves cryptocurrency some sort of way. They simply won't have an option but to have to be able to regulate it or allow it in some sort of way that makes sense with our laws or change the current laws to be able to accommodate.
Unfortunately, we need the big companies, man. That's the truth. They have so much lobbying power.
Yeah.
Apple, Facebook, as soon as they do a wallet,
right. That's exactly right. So when Apple starts doing NFTs or incorporates them into like a new world, if there's like a new world NFTs or gaming items or tokens, something that goes into their universe. You're right. When we have more and more corporations, that's what I mean. When you have more and more corporations that are on board, and that's where they're pushing because that's where people are where the money's at. That's where the people want things to go, and that's where the technology is going. You cannot stop technology, man. This is the cutting edge of technology. This is like trying to stop the internet in the early 90s and saying, nope,
but
we got to regulate against this. We got to regulate against the internet.
But I wouldn't be surprised like Facebook or Apple lobbying against, crypto right now. Like literally putting money down, slow this shit down. Until we come in and we can do our own thing.
Well be.
No, for sure it can happen. It's very easy for them. I mean,
that's also a form of centralization too. If you get corporations that are that enormous that start taking up that type of market share, you're going to start seeing things like MetaMask that belong to an organization that starts monetizing it. And it's going to get even more like the government's going to have even more reason to apply pressure for stuff like this. So it's not going to happen overnight. Even if Facebook would say, okay, tomorrow we're coming out with a wallet, or Amazon would say something like that, I think it wouldn't be instant for sure. There would be a lot of pushback.
And it just goes against the centralized nature of our government. They want to know everything we're doing. They want to know where our money's coming from, how we got it, where it's going. How much profit we've made, and decentralized theory goes against that. Yep. That you have that privacy, that you don't have to know, and that there's zero knowledge proof of your income or of your profits or of your assets. And so that's what I'm saying. Those two things, those ideas are at a point now where they're going to be fighting each other for a very long time to come. We haven't had a technology really that did that for us until now. Even the internet didn't do that for us. I mean, it definitely helped us to be more liquid in a lot of different ways with culture and community and communication. But we never really anything pushing against the overall centralized nature of our governments. And now that is what blockchain is doing, saying, no, look, we have the tools to make it like this, where you have privacy and you can trade with somebody else or do whatever, and nobody can really stop you. That's one of the big ideas behind cryptocurrency and behind Bitcoin, is that you're not having to ask permission. But they want to keep it like that because, of course, that's where the power is. When you got to ask permission, when you got to get someone's permission to say, yeah, I can do this. Thank you, Daddy Government, for letting me have this privilege. Right. Thank you so much, please. It's bullshit, man. So,
but the crazy thing is that if you read the Cyberpunk Manifesto, if you read it, it sounds crazy, like some cold type of shit, But in the 1990s, if you read that, they actually wanted the internet to be private. That's where they were going from the beginning, from the start.
Yeah, the tech just wasn't there. That's what
No,
I'm
but
saying.
there was ways to do it, but you know, there were other powers that understood the power of the internet without privacy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with currencies. You know, Facebook. You know, they wanted to come in with their currency because they know the power of having a currency that everybody uses, their Facebook coin, and they can see all the transactions and everything you do. You have all the info there. So you know,
that parody.
Cagy,
Parody is actually fascinating, Cagy, because I'm an old school Shadowrun fan, and all of these corporations have their modern day pairs in the real world today, like Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft. It's crazy. And the way that the corporations and the government go for that centralization, that control mechanism, and now everybody else is just trying to innovate, even not to the point of cybernetics yet, but maybe it'll get to there one day.
It'll get there.
We're looking at a modern day dystopia, except it's not happening in the trenches. It's just happening financially.
And I think the Web 2 space is going to move to that anyway. And like, how are they going to control what's happening in the blockchain space, like without controlling the internet? And eventually, I mean, I could see what's happening is the internet as we know it today becomes a censored network. And then we see smaller, private, decentralized networks popping up that people start using. Because ultimately, how are they going to stop this stuff from happening that we're doing? If people keep doing it, then other than trying to gatekeep the internet. And then when that happens, people are just going to start their own networks.
Yeah. And I think like on top of that, just in the US alone, a lot of the big problems is that they're looking at crypto through a lens of, hey, I'm some old guy who doesn't really know what this does, but I'm not profitizing off of it. So guess what? I'm going to stop everyone else from living and using it, instead of looking at the true utility of how crypto could change healthcare, could change the way we grow wealth, could change the way people around the world build. And it's like, eventually, it's going to have to be young people in the United States getting off their asses and lobbying for the stuff that they want to use. I mean, I'm a big proponent of like thinking, yo, you got to go out and you got to talk about this shit. You got to get it into the hands of politicians. Dude, all they do, other people just pay off politicians to get the issues that they want to cross every single day. Yeah, like
lobbying.
We need to get crypto. Yeah, we need to get crypto-minded people doing the same thing. Yo, let's build a big-ass fund to just pay off some guy in Cali or some guy in DC to just start pushing our own initiatives. Because it's like, if not, we're going to continue sitting here for a while.
Well, we need the lobbying DAO.
Yeah, lobbying DAO would be great, man. And that's something we could work on. I mean, honestly, man. And but the other thing too is that, you know, these are systems we want to we don't want these systems, you know, in particular, you know, like playing into the same old system and saying, okay, here's how it's already done. Here's what we got to do and get on board. Like the whole point is we're creating and blazing a new path with cryptocurrency, decentralized technology. And so, you know, as much as it is a fight, like that's one of those fights that I will continue to be, you know, a game for, you know. Yeah, utilizing the current systems to try and manipulate our path and to be able to keep that path going, I think makes sense in a lot of ways. But I mean, it also, you know, can mean, you know, just exodus from the places that are not going to be conducive for that kind of path, you know. So people leaving the United States, individuals and also corporations leaving because the money is out there and we're not letting the technology go where it needs to go. And you know, with being such a global type of economy these days, like Cagy was saying, you know, you can go a lot of places. Now it's not always the easiest thing to do for individuals. For corporations, probably a little bit easier, and I think that we're going to start to see that, man, because the United States is just going to be too heavy-handed with regulation. And it's not that, you know, it's not necessarily people want to necessarily avoid paying tax. They just want to be able to do what they're doing and not have to be in fear of being slapped on the wrist or paying high, you know, penalties or whatever it may be, or just not knowing, just having building something and never knowing really what's going to happen. That sucks.
I mean, look at El Salvador, dude. Like, bro, they're about to become one of the richest countries in the world. People are, well, big, you know, the anti-Bitcoin people are like, oh, no, yeah, Bitcoin, whatever. It's not whatever. These people are about to become, they have like 1 million people in that country, and they're about to become one of the richest countries in the world. 100%. Like, there is no way back, and you can't stop that. And they've been trying to stop it now. You know, the opposition, also the IMF, also, and also the United Nations too. They've been trying to stop it, like, oh, what you're doing is illegal. Trying to get the president or, you know, the government that is in power right now with other stupid little things like, oh, that's not okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's not okay is for you to not say anything against something like Venezuela, right? But as soon as somebody is trying to get out as a small country and become a multi-million like industry there, for everything.
Well,
like you could do anything over there, anything right now, innovate with anything, and it becomes, it's incredible. It's incredible. I was there.
I think that
it was crazy.
We're at a time now too where we're going to start to see that shift. The United States can't be a mega empire and the dominant country in the world when it comes to a lot of these metrics. We're definitely not the dominant country in the world when it comes to a lot of metrics.
I was about to say, has it been?
No. But when it comes to military strength, when it comes to the fact that our currency is the world reserve currency, when it comes to the fact that like power, like centralized power. We're at the top of those horrible things, but looking to other countries to kind of lead the way with this, and maybe, like I said, maybe that's where a lot of this goes, because when we look at gaming being this new emerging economy where because of automation, because of AI, because of a lot of different factors that we're going to start seeing here, a lot of jobs are going to start going away. So having metaverses and ways for people to play and earn and make a living, like truly make a living in not just what we call like third world countries, which quote unquote, but places where just the rate of earning is a lot lower and the cost of living is lower, where that is viable everywhere, where you can be a citizen no matter where you're at, and that's a viable job that you can actually be doing and extracting value from, because there's just simply not going to be enough jobs in the future. And so I think gamification of those things makes a lot of sense. And so El Salvador may be at the forefront of that, because they've already are laying the tracks down for cryptocurrency to be a main part of their economy.
But wait, Bryson, maybe you know about this. In the Philippines, didn't the government come after the people?
They said they're gonna have to pay taxes on that shit.
Taxes on those Axie profits, man. And that's what I'm saying. Anytime anything comes that's good like that, the government comes along like, oh wait, you found something that works really good and you're making some money. Oh shit, we gonna have to tax the hell out of your ass then.
Is that money?
What if they pay each other in SOP?
Hey, what's all that good SLP you got going on there?
Yeah.
Well, this is a good segue to the next topic, man. The next topic we're going to be talking about here is akin to centralization, and I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on kind of the trajectory that things are going right now. And I mean, a few of us have kind of said that we don't really see, or at least me, I don't really see a future without a lot of centralization happening in the space, without, or at least a fight, right, to get to where we want to be with decentralization. And I think there's going to be some people that bend the knee, right? And I could see, like we were talking about, if these big companies start to lobby, like Apple and Facebook, what's stopping them from just buying up all the assets and kind of taking the things that we don't like say about banks today and applying them to NFTs? Like, the reason I reference this is, man, A16Z, a huge fund, just made a huge investment into Yield Guild Games. For those of you guys watching who aren't familiar, that's a big DAO that's based in the Philippines that essentially bought a bunch of NFT assets and is involved all across the metaverse, and actually helps a lot of people out by sort of loaning out assets to help people get started and play to earn games that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. And I was thinking, like, what's stopping Facebook or Apple from just buying a ton of Axies and basically starting an NFT bank? And like, to me, that seems like the future that might happen. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, what do you think, Stache? Do you think we're going to see some central big companies kind of jump into the NFT space and maybe make it worse for everyone else?
I mean, I think that we've already kind of seen that in a little bit of ways. Having something like an NFT bank, and when we talk about Yield Guild Gang or Yield
Gang,
exactly, gang. The volatility, I think, is the biggest deterrent there, right? Why have not larger corporations taken over this and done something that's similar? Well, Yield Guild, they're putting a lot of stock into other people's projects. And so if something happens with that, like Axie Infinity crashes, or something doesn't work out, then they have tons and tons of yield locked up in these assets, and it may not, in the long run, it may not actually work out. But then it may turn out brilliant. There's a lot of risk there, and I think that all these third parties, they're just not ready to do that. That's what banks essentially are doing right now, is they're taking risks, they're taking loans, but they're earning yield on these things by being able to then turn around and fractionally reserve your assets and say, okay, great, you deposited $5,000. We're going to take that. We're going to go loan that $5,000 out 10 times to 10 other people and make a shit ton of interest off of that, And so by being able to fractional reserve it. And so I think we'll see some of those things coming for NFTs, but the volatility is so great there that you really have to have a high risk tolerance as a company to be able to get in on that. And so that's the one thing I would say about Yield Guild, man, is that it could swing really bad for them at some point, and they lose everything.
I like that perspective. I wouldn't want to see that. But
no, I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm just saying it's a pretty big gamble.
I never heard anybody say that. I always think I believe in NFTs so much that for me it was like, yeah, it makes sense. You have a DAO with a bunch of NFTs, but shit could go wrong for all of us. I have a bunch of money in NFTs. It's kind of the same thing, Shit goes fucking.
Oh, it does.
Way.
Trust me.
Baby, I'm going back to the supermarket. You already know.
Crazy.
We're all overexposed, man. If you told any traditional investor what this show is about, their eyes would roll back in their head.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that because I run a guild that's doing something very similar to YGG, and some of the things that we've tried to have to come up with is how do we make ourselves defensible against market collapses, but also how do we figure out a way to streamline the play to earn industry to where there is enough balance and moderation to where there is some level of stability. Because right now I look at it, we got tons of Axie assets in other games. Like I said, things go to zero. Guild's not worth a penny. So it's like a couple of things that, you have to do. And I understand why YGG is doing it like this is, raise money. They're raising a ton of money because their goal is probably, hey, can we outlast any bear market in the NFT gaming space? We're doing the same thing right now. We're trying to, do a $4 million funding round, talking to investors, and we're probably looking to close that within the next couple of weeks. But it's like, can you survive enough bear markets for your NFT assets to come good? And right now, everyone's betting on Axie Infinity. But we do have to think, what if, in the odd things, and I'm a huge Axie proponent, if Axie were to fail, YGG, us, a lot of other orgs would be in up shit's creek a very good amount in terms of what happens next. So I think a lot of what the future of NFT gaming is, it's going to require a lot of people putting a lot of energy, time, and building things that help aid Axie Infinity in succeeding. Because I think if Axie Infinity fails, it's going to look bad for the entire NFT gaming market as a whole.
I don't know if I don't want to hear some points from other people, but I actually don't agree with that, man. I think that if Axie Infinity fails, it definitely tarnishes play to earn and the NFT market in general. But they have a very specific economy, and the way they've gone about things is very specific to them. I played tons of different play to earn games, and everyone always comes in and they always compare whatever it is I'm playing to Axie Infinity, like how much can I earn per hour? And I go, well, it doesn't really work like that in this game, or this game is a little bit different. They have this different model. And so, I think that knowing what works and what doesn't work is going to happen. There are going to be games that crash. And right now, there's so few amount of play to earn games that are at the point where the assets are so expensive that the average person that wants to play and earn cannot afford them. So therefore, you have something like a scholarship system where somebody with big dollars can then buy all the assets up, and the little guys just have to essentially rent them by giving a portion of their play to earn proceeds to them. That's not necessarily how every play to earn game has gone about it. And so I don't think that it would tarnish the entire industry, and I don't think every game is going to have that same format where where the assets become unapproachable.
Well, I guess I would pose the question to you: what would allow someone to want to play a play to earn game right now outside of the aspect of earning? I love video games, but right now, traditional video gaming is eons ahead of play to earn gaming, and that's Axie Infinity included. And if you ask most people that play Axie, it's the game's okay, but the fact that you can earn. So it's like, how do we bridge the gap?
That's a hard gap to bridge, because the development cycle for a AAA style game is a lot longer than it is to pump out one of these little card games or a simple auto dueler game or whatever it may be. So that's why we're really at the very early stages with this, and the big breakout hits like Axie like that, they may fail. We may come and decide, okay, this type of ecosystem or this economy just simply didn't work. It only worked for a certain amount of time. It was really good. It blew up. And then at some point, something happened. They hit some sort of inflection point where it no longer is sustainable, and that play to earn model is going to fail. Now, what because most people are like, oh well, right now it's all about earning. I don't give a shit about how good the game is, but that's where we need to get, and that's where we're going to get. That's the whole point, right? Is
I fucking hate that mentality. I
know,
hate
and that, me too, and I hate that mentality as well. I play games that I actually like. I enjoy playing Splinterlands. I think it's actually a fun game. There's strategy there.
But now you're talking about something.
But there's other games too. We were just talking about Nine Lives Arena. Nine Lives Arena is also a blockchain enabled game with play to earn elements and NFTs, and that game is fun to play. And there's some other games too. Blankos is a game where you can earn money, and it is fun to play Blankos. Man, I actually enjoy it. It's a game that I would probably play without having any potential to earn.
Blankos is a perfect example, actually.
Yeah, it's a great example.
Would you say Blankos is the best AAA, like the best NFT play to earn game out right now in terms of quality?
Yes,
what else?
I would say
What else what else is there?
Gods Unchained is pretty close because it mirrors what's going on in Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, but it's very specific. It's one of those games where you gotta either like card games and strategy games like that, or you don't. And a lot of people, I think, that goes a little bit above their level because it's more in depth and strategic. But something like Blankos is super easy, man. It's like Fall Guys, but with play to earn and NFTs. You go in there, you're doing these little races and competing against everybody else or shooters, whatever it might be. So I think there's a lot more approachability there. Then you see things like Light Night where they're just barely getting started, but it's an FPS where you can go in and you can earn Bitcoin just by playing, and people love FPS games. And there's a bunch of games on deck, man, and you guys know this. We talk about them all the time that are coming that are going to blow everybody's mind, and they're incorporating things. So I think it's just getting to that level where the game is super awesome, and like you'd play it no matter what because it is the latest, coolest game, and it is the Fortnite of NFT games, and you also earn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay, man. I'm okay with playing like something like Halo. I said it before, and not earning per se, right? If I earn skins within the game and then I can sell it in the market, I'm okay with that. I would grind Halo personally from a United States standpoint. Very important to understand. I would grind Halo for NFT skins rather than playing Axie for more money, like a little bit more money, because in the United States that's like insignificant. Like people can make that money, in many other things, and they'd rather just play something fun with a little bit less incentive than something like Axie, right? They'd rather go for the fun, less incentive in the United States. That's for sure. Right.
Like, you need the mix of both, man. So when you're earning, you're not like, oh, I'm playing this game to earn a living necessarily. Not at this point. Maybe in the farther future, but you're earning something. Like, hey, if I can play a Fortnite without being able to earn, or play a Fortnite with the same amount of fun and I can earn, wouldn't you choose the other one? I was already gonna put the hours in. Might as well earn $1 for my time that I put in this today, or 50 cents. I mean, it's not a lot, but more than what you were earning before, which is jack shit. And you still own your items. You could trade them, things like that. That's one of the big things too that we always tend to forget, is that people put thousands of dollars into games right now, and you can't extract that value, man. You can't sell those items. You don't actually own those items. So even just having just that in a AAA game, even if I can't actually like earn the in-game tokens and then go sell them, but if I'm buying assets on the store and I can then go tell them and resell them after I'm done with them and get some value back, like that's a game changer, man.
That's also when you've achieved true utility, when users have trouble getting rid of their assets because they are attached to them. Like looting games. People grind hundreds and thousands of hours in in-game levels on World of Warcraft, for instance, for this nice shoulder armor that shows when they're walking around town. When you know that thing is $4,000 and you have a better piece of equipment that doesn't look as good, and you have to contemplate, which one am I going to get rid of, or when a new mount releases or something like that. I think that in general, that's where things are going to really start to shift when people like, I want to play Voxies really bad because I love tactics and I love RPGs, and it's going to put the two genres together. And it's going to be very, very difficult for me not to buy Voxies just to fill out my certain party, to fill out a team composition. Like, how would a bard work in this party setup? Or how would a priest or a new tank or something like that? Bryson probably knows this better than I do. Trying to play around with the meta in Axie Infinity is one of the funnest things, seeing these team compositions and the way they balance each other and stuff. I never thought about buying a reptile before until I started getting whipped by him. And then I was like, man, that's a really, really cool Axie. I think I want one. So you're going to see the same type of stuff in a tactics game like that. Like, holy crap, this archer just killed me, So it's going to lead you to want to experience things, and the cost of that is going to be, you're going to be able to achieve it through a market. You know, you're not just going to be able to grind it. You're going to be able to buy it from someone else that may not see that same value in it.
I think there's an interesting other side of that too. Like, you know how, say, in League of Legends, they adjust the meta every once in a while based on how characters are playing and based on how people are doing things. Like, what happens when you just invested a ton of money on that asset you need for your team comp, and then the next day they change it? Yeah.
Then you can at least sell it. That's the thing. Like right now, you can't do that. So you know what I'm saying? That is, I think, the problem. And at least it's a little bit liquidated. That still sucks no matter what. But kind of bring everything back around to NFT banks and kind of this lending aspect, and you know, something like YGG and what they're doing. You know, when you can diversify into a lot more games, a lot more AAA style games, you know, I think that will be a more viable avenue versus putting all of your like, hey, dude, if this 1 or 2 games doesn't go down, or they don't launch well, or when something happens, everything we built on top of that is now gone. You know, I feel like there's not enough diversity to really have an effective NFT bank that you know has a good long-term value. You know, that's one of those crazy things. So now, but on the contrast to that, now you look at something like what Whale has done, Whale Shark has done, and you know they did it with you know, a combination of both art and games. And art is one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, you know, it's not like it's dependent on an economy or a token price or, you know, a bunch of players playing it. It retains long-term value based upon, you know, what people like and whatnot. So that, you know, that I think that has a little bit more sustainability power through ups and downs.
I think the real model that's gonna work that I see right now is the one that Blancos is doing, and the Embersword one. And I'm talking about, like, for everybody that is now looking to live off this, just kind of like play for fun and get something out of it. I feel like this model, it's the start of something, and I think it's good to reset. I think Axie is amazing, but it's like so advanced, right? And I feel like this reset into like Blancos and Embersword, to see how we can evolve from there, right? You know, kind of like a hybrid game where it's like not pay to win or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we need a few bigger ones with mass appeal. I totally agree.
With mass appeal and not too much tokenomics, just kind of like, let's play something for fun that we can extract some type of value. And then let's see where we can like step.
Bite-sized pieces of tokenomics. Just slowly spoon feed them until the public gets mass adoption.
And
exactly.
You know, I was gonna say, like, I think the sandbox kind of is the way that they've kind of set things up. I think makes a lot of sense for that. You know, it is something where they have NFTs, you can trade them. You can use them for building out your own experience there, and it's not, you know, like there's no economy that's reliant on the sand token. Like you can have just a bunch of free experiences, or you could try and build something where you charge somebody to do something like that, you know, like an in-game experience, but it's not dependent on the price of this token or more people coming in, or, you know what I'm saying, or what the population is. It's something that can kind of scale with the game, with the interest and what's going on, and you can kind of slowly introduce it, right? Slowly introduce it. I mean, that was originally my plan with the game I'm building in the sandbox, is that you know, it's going to be a free thing to play where you get rewards by playing it, and then eventually once it gets to a point where like, okay, well maybe it's the rewards get better now and you have to pay, you know, 1 sand to get in or 5 sand to play, you know.
I think we're right on the edge, man. We're soon, within the next year, there's going to be something that changes the whole game, and you know, we're never going to have seen it coming. So,
but don't underestimate Axie though. That's the thing. That's the thing, because they have the most experience in terms of handling a community, handling an economy, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's experience. Yeah. It's experience, and it's data that they have. They could say, okay, if we do this way, this happens. If we do this way, this happens. And all these other games are claiming like, yeah, we're gonna be like Axie. Yeah, motherfucker, you have 1.5 million players to actually see that data. You don't have it. They do. So they can improve up on that with land gameplay, which is going to be like a fully tokenized economy. I mean, this right now is a one-trick economy. Let's be honest, one trick. The SOP, the breeding, blah, blah, blah. If one of the two doesn't work, If somebody's not playing, there's no breeders. If there's no breeders, then it's because nobody's buying it's a one trick right now. But with the land gameplay and all the resources that they're gonna introduce, the things might change. And they're quiet, which I fucking hate because I want to know more. But
that might be good. They're building, man, just building away, being quiet, heads down.
I just hope it's fun. That's what I'm mainly. I just want it to be fun. Like if it's really fun, dude, it's gonna explode.
It's gonna explode, and that's why we shouldn't be like like in the next game. Actually has a lot to work with still, a lot.
We're early, man. People on Twitter like to say that we're early to crypto, and that may not be totally true, but we are early to blockchain gaming, man. So if you're out there watching. Don't worry, there's going to be tons of opportunity. There's going to be some great games coming out, and who knows what the metaverse is going to be like, even 3 months from now. But that's all the time we have tonight, guys.
Oh no! Why? Why are we leaving?
The YouTube algorithm, man. The YouTube algorithm will punish us. It will punish us.
An hour or less. Damn, you guys stop talking so damn much.
Punish us.
Oh man.
But speaking of that,
what
you guys watching out there?
Show. I'm never going back.
All right.
He'll be back next week, folks. He'll be back next week.
I've enjoyed myself. I don't know about Cagy, but I've enjoyed myself.
Thank you so much for joining us, Bryson. It was a lot of fun having you, man.
Happy to have you on, man. All you guys watching out there, don't forget to smash the like button and hit the description for all of the links to these guys' channels. Check out everyone's content so you don't miss a thing. And see you next week for Around the Metaverse.
Later, guys.
See ya.